Today I want to help you guys translate verbal expressions into algebraic expressions. What we're going to do is use the keywords in the problem to figure out what operation is being stated and create a number sentence. The first thing you really have to know are what kinds of clue words tell you about what kinds of operations. And they're really four of them. So let's just take a little space down here just to think about them. The four operations we have: adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Keywords: when we're adding, we're increasing. So that's one way of putting it. Or the word sum, or usually more. But you're going to see increase or more a lot. For subtracting, you might see the word difference, the difference between two numbers. They don't mean which is bigger or smaller, they mean to subtract them. Or subtract, lose, taking away. Anytime you're getting less of something. Less is another word, like 15 less than a number, things like that. For multiplying, you'll see product a lot, or you might think of making more groups. So if you're repeatedly making groups. And for dividing, you might see the word quotient, or again, groups, but this time you're making groups. So they have to be equal, or sharing is another way. So what are you really doing with your numbers? You're making more. You're either adding or multiplying. If you're making more the same way, probably multiplying. If you're somehow making less, we're subtracting. Or if you're breaking something up into groups, you're dividing. So I'm going to look for these words on my homework sheet. And I already see them. I'm only going to work on the first set. I already see some of these words coming up. And those all tell me what operation. Sum, adding, quotient, dividing, adding, multiplying, subtracting. The other part that we're looking for is, what is the order? That doesn't really matter for adding a sum of a number. I can just add it anyway. But it definitely matters when we subtract and when we divide. We can't just switch numbers around. All of these are going to be algebraic expressions. There is a number we don't know. So we're going to just start with the first one. The sum of a number, we don't know what this number is, and 37. So it's some number added to 37. So I'm going to write n plus 37. It doesn't matter if it's 37 plus n. This can go back and forth. It's commutative, meaning I can switch them. The quotient of 61 and a number. So I'm dividing 61 by a number. 61 divided by a number. I could also write it like this. 61 divided by a number. A number increased by 93. So again, it's some number getting bigger by 93. So I'm saying whatever the number is, I'm adding 93. The product of 32 and a number. So I'm multiplying 32 times some number, and this is how we do it in algebra. We use a little dot, or I can just write it like this. Okay. And since we have a subtraction one, the difference between a number and 8, so subtracting some number minus 8. Okay. Usually I should use the word from, a number from 8, so you know that I'm taking it from this. Or I could have said 8, a number from 8 would be 8 minus the number. 8 from a number, I'm taking 8 from this, so that really does matter. And in this case, it just said a number and 8. So I hope this was at least useful. Remember, these are your keywords to the operation, and you can use any variable you want for your algebraic expression.